Frugal Chef. I hope you're doing really well today. I want to make some artisan pizza dough with you today. This is the best pizza dough you can make at home, but it is something that takes time. So this is kind of a project. We're gonna make enough dough for 4 or 5 pizzas, depending on how thick you like your dough. This is something that is gonna take like 5 hours to rise. You'll see we're gonna use very little yeast. And it's dough that you can keep in the fridge beautifully for a couple days. It'll freeze very nicely. This is great. You will never ever have homemade pizza dough like this, I promise you. It is really worth the wait. Now, if you have a little scale, that'd be awesome. If you don't and you're willing to spend, I don't know, 15 bucks, I think you can get one. This would be great for this recipe because, you know, flour is different in different countries. Sometimes you have too much moisture in the air, sometimes you don't have enough. So measuring it by cups, well, it works, but if you can measure it by grams, like I'm gonna show you, and I'll give you all the measurements, you're gonna have a better result. So consider maybe buying a little a scale, especially if you're going to be making this more than once. Okay, let's make this. These are the ingredients we need for our pizza. I have 1 kilogram of all-purpose white flour in this bowl. That's 1,000 grams, 2.2 pounds, 7 3/4 cups of white flour. I have 20 grams of salt. This is a tablespoon and 3/4 teaspoon of salt. I have 2 grams of active yeast. That is half a teaspoon. And I have 700 grams of water at 90 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit. I will tell you the centigrade in the recipe. I know it's weird to measure water in grams, but bear with me. This is the best way to make this. It'll come out perfect for you. That's 3 cups. I'm going to steal 2 tablespoons of the measured water and put it in this bowl with the yeast, and we're just going to let it be. Just like that. Now what we're going to do is form an auto yeast. This is simply wetting the flour so that the gluten starts releasing itself and relaxing, okay? I'm going to mix this with my clean hands, and I don't need to knead it, I just want to mix it all. Don't worry that this seems a little dry at this point. We're gonna add that yeast, and just those 2 tablespoons are gonna make the whole difference. We are going to cover this and we're gonna let it rest for about 20 minutes. Okay, 20 minutes have gone by. Now we're going to finish adding the salt and the yeast to our dough. So we're gonna sprinkle the salt. This might look like a lot of salt. Guys, it's not. It's fine. It'll give your dough a nice flavor. And now I'm going to start adding the yeast with my fingers. Tear a little piece and just wipe the bowl. Notice how stretchy this is already. It's because we let it rest. Now we're going to fold and pinch our dough. This is very important. We're not going to knead it. We don't want to take all that gas out of our dough. We want it to have the gas inside so that when we bake our pizza it has nice bubbles, okay? You can wet your hands 2 to 3 times to do this. 2 is probably enough. You don't want to make it super sticky. But when I say wet, all I want you to do is put your hand in there and just get rid of the excess. Don't scoop water into your dough. We're gonna start by folding a corner over to the other. Second time I'm wetting my hands. And this is our pinching. Now we fold again. I wet my hand a third time. I'm just going to pat it. We're going to let this rest for about 45 minutes and then we're going to give it a last fold. Okay, last fold and then we're going to let this rise. This has been sitting here for 45 minutes. I coated this bowl with olive oil and I'm going to transfer my dough. I'm just going to put a little olive oil on top. And I'm just dabbing it with the paper towel I used to, coat the bowl. We're going to cover this. We're going to put it in a draft-free area and we're going to leave it alone and let it double in size. That's going to take between 4 and 5 hours, okay? Look at that. It is beautiful. Can you see all the bubbles in there? Oh boy. I am very carefully now going to transfer this to this board that I have underneath it that has been floured. We're basically just going to dump it onto the board. I'm going to use the palm of my hand to separate it from the bowl. See what this is doing? That's great. Look at that bubble. Okay, now we need to cut the dough into, you can do it 4 or 5 pieces. It's gonna depend on how thick you like your crust. I typically cut it into 4, so that's absolutely up to you. All right, now we're going to grab our dough and we're going to squeeze the bottom and form it into a ball, like this. squeeze and squeeze. We're gonna allow these to sit for about 20 minutes. They will expand, so don't put them too close to each other. And then we're either gonna cook them or store them, okay? These are ready, guys. If you were gonna use them right now, you simply need to stretch them out, and you can do that with your hands or you know, with a rolling pin. And cook them like you would store-bought pizza, very, very high oven for, I don't know, 9 to 13 minutes. We're going to wrap them in plastic and we're gonna put them away. You know, I like how these taste better the next day. That doesn't mean they're not great right now. If you wanted to cook them right now, that'd be great. So I'm very carefully going to place my dough in some plastic, and I'm not gonna squish it. I'm just gonna wrap it and treat it with much respect. And I'm gonna put it in the fridge until tomorrow. This might seem a little nuts to you, but instead of cornmeal on my pizza pan, I like to put a very light film of olive oil. And I'll tell you why. The crust, it browns beautiful from the bottom like that. So I prefer it that way. You can use cornmeal if you want. Pieces of dough that was in the fridge overnight. You can roll this out with a rolling pin and flour if you would prefer. I like to just pull it with my hands. I like to let it fall with its weight. So just turn it around and shake it a little bit, and turn it around and shake it a little bit. I'm gonna let it rest for a couple minutes and then we'll pull it onto the rest of the pan. When you let it rest, the gluten relaxes again and it's easier to pull. We're gonna make a simple cheese pizza just so you can see how you need to cook this dough, okay? Minutes on the dot. Look at this. This dough is so beautiful. Look how it got all bubbly here. Perfect. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it and you give me a like, thank you very much. If you share it with your friends, double thank you. And if you haven't subbed, all you gotta do is sub right here, and thank you again. I will have this recipe on the website waiting for you guys to come and print it. In the meantime, eat well without going broke. I'm gonna see you guys soon.